In 2008, the world teetered on the edge of collapse. Banks failed, millions lost their jobs, and people feared another Great Depression. But we told ourselves that will never happen again. The government will protect us. For the moment, it felt like we dodged a bullet. Bailouts, safety nets, stimulus checks, crisis was averted, right? But fast forward 8 years, and the world is hit with a global pandemic. Suddenly, we realized that the systems we trusted to keep us safe weren't as strong as we thought. And here's the thing. This isn't new. It's part of a pattern, a historical cycle that's been playing out for centuries. We're in what some call the fourth turning, a time of crisis, upheaval, and transformation. In their book, The Fourth Turning, William Strauss and Neil Howe described history as moving in cycles, each lasting about 80 to 100 years. These cycles are divided into 4 phases called turnings. The first turning is a time of growth, a rebuilding, an era of optimism and strong institutions. The second turning is an awakening and a cultural revolution that questions the status quo. The third turning is an unraveling, a period of fragmentation, distrust, and weakening institutions. And then comes the fourth turning, the crisis. The fourth turning is when old systems collapse and society is forced to transform. It's chaotic, it's painful, it's unpredictable, but it's also necessary. It's how history moves forward. We've seen this before. The Great Depression and World War II were part of the last fourth term. The systems collapsed, and out of all that crisis, we rebuilt the New Deal, the rise of the middle class, and the post-war boom. For decades, it felt like America had entered the golden age, prosperity, stability, dominance, but that golden age came with cracks like systematic inequality, unsustainable growth, and over time, those cracks widened. But the 70s came, and that was the second phase, the awakening, and that challenged authority, and the unraveling followed. Declining trust in institutions, growing polarization, and economic inequality. And now here we are, the fourth turning. It began with the Great Recession, escalated with the pandemic, and continues with political and social upheaval. This is the crisis phase, and what comes next depends on what we do. During a crisis, it's tempting to look backward, to long for the good old days. Movements like Make America Great Again lean into nostalgia, invoking memories of that post-war era, the last first turning. Was that time really as great as we remember? Sure, it was a time of growth and opportunity for some, but for others, it was a time of exclusion. Segregation was law, women were pushed into rigid roles, and economic prosperity was built on unsustainable practices. The problem with nostalgia is that it simplifies the past. It offers easy answers to complex problems, but the challenges we face today, climate change, global pandemic, economic equality, can't be solved with the old solutions. They require new thinking and new systems. Here's the pattern we need to break. Crisis strikes, we respond, we rebuild, and then we forget. We get complacent, and after the Great Recession, we didn't fix the deeper problems, we just patched the systems and hoped for the best. And when COVID-19 hit, those cracks became chasms. Our supply chain broke down, public health systems faltered, millions struggled with no safety net to catch them. It was a wake-up call, just like 1929, just like 1941, but will we answer this time? The fourth turning doesn't just happen to us. It's a moment of choice. The crisis forces us to decide, will we let the old systems collapse and rebuild something better, or will we cling to the nostalgia, patch those cracks, and wait for the next disaster? Decisions we make today will shape the first turning of the next cycle. The era of our children and grandchildren will live in. Will it be a time of growth and exclusion and innovation, or will it be a fragile echo of the past? We have a choice, and it starts by letting go of the myth of the good old days and looking forward to solutions that address the challenges of today and tomorrow. The fourth turning is here. It's chaotic, it's uncertain, and it's scary, but it is also a chance to shape the future and build something better. The question is, will we rise to the challenge, or will we let history repeat itself? Have a good one.